Chapter 9. The following Friday, I pack a small bag for Mama, some underwear, toiletries, and her magic. You're planning to leave us already? Chantal asks as she gets dressed. We have to get my mother, I say. It's been too long. I have to find out what's going on. Your mother is not doing anything. She is, trust me. She didn't go through all that trouble bringing her over here just to leave her hanging. We want Aunt Val here too, you know. How can I go to New Jersey? I ask. Chantal sighs. You'd have to take the Greyhound for like 15 hours, but you're not going anywhere, and I'm not taking you to New Jersey. Ma is finding everything out. If she say to wait, then you wait. If she say to move, then you move. But I see that you're hard-headed like your cousins. And you are not? She turns to me and looks me straight in the eyes. When I was 16, I left home and told my mother I was going to find my father's killer. I was gone for 6 days. I don't say anything for a long minute, waiting for her to finish the story. Well, did you find him? Yeah, she says. So we're family, all right? But I'm not going to let you do anything stupid, okay? After school, Pri doesn't leave me alone. She follows me from last class to my locker and out the door. Maybe she thinks that I will do like Chantal and disappear for 6 days. I've been thinking about it since this morning. I can do it. I have enough money. It will only take 2 buses and lots of hours to pick up my mother and come back. Do you even know where Jersey is? She asks, as if she's reading my mind. How are you going to tell the difference between New Jersey and motherfucking Wisconsin? I know English, I can read, and I have money, I say as I walk down the front steps of the school. Do you even know the shit that happens to dumbass girls like you who want to go on road trips? They get snatched and thrown in the backs of vans and forced to turn tricks, Pri says, huffing and puffing as she tries to keep up with me. I stop when I reach the sidewalk. Turn tricks? You mean prostitution? They do that to girls in Haiti too, and it hasn't happened to me. Your voodoo is not going to save you out here on these streets. Pri, I say, looking straight into her eyes. No one is helping me with my mother. She's in a prison. Prison. Her only crime was coming here to this country to make a better life for us. So I know she's counting on me. I have to help her. Pri shoves her hands into her coat pockets, cocks her head back, and looks down her nose at me. You gonna be all right, cuz? I nod. Yes, Pri. She inhales, pulls the hood of her coat over her head, and looks around as if searching for someone. Look, Sean ain't here yet, and Donna left early with her man. He offered to take us home, but I wasn't trying to get into that end's car. Chill at the school for a minute, and meet me out here in like 15. And you're not going to no damn New Jersey. She goes over to a group of girls standing near the school. I don't recognize any of them, and they don't have our uniforms on. Again, I'm left out of my cousin's circle, and I know for sure that I'm not the fourth B. I return to the CVS for only a few minutes until it's time to meet up with Pri again. I make a mental checklist of all the things I want to buy this time. More toiletries for myself, hair stuff, and maybe a magazine. I'm in one of the wide aisles when a woman's voice makes me jump and drop a jar of hair moisturizer on the floor. Hey, she calls out, I keep running into you. It's the woman from last week with the same fuzzy hat, but this time she's wearing a brown coat. She comes over to me, and I wonder if she lives in the neighborhood. I don't say anything and glance at the few other people in the aisle. You know, I'm looking for a good high school for my niece, the woman says. How do you like that school? It's okay, I say, and move on to the next row of products on the shelf. There are some real good kids over there, not too much trouble. I look down at her boots, the same clean leather boots as before. Maman told me not to judge people by their clothes, but by their shoes. A wise person will only be left with threads, but their shoes should be made for endless walking in search of a better life. If you already know that the school is good, then why are you asking me? She laughs. Smart cookie. It's always good to get an inside perspective, you know? I pick up the colorful jar, place it back on the shelf, and walk away. Wait, you are Donna's cousin, right? I stop. I don't turn. I wait for her to explain herself. I need to talk to you. How do you know Donna? I ask, only turning a little just to see her face. She shrugs. I also know Pri and Chantal and their mother Marjorie. I'm familiar with their case from several years back. Their father, your uncle, was killed near the Chrysler plant. I stand frozen for a moment because this is the first time I've heard someone actually say these words. Your uncle was killed. I turn to face her full on. I look into her eyes and decide to trust her because she knows this important part of our story. The restaurant the lady takes me to is within walking distance from the school, so I can always run back if anything happens. Besides, I didn't even know there was somewhere nice to eat so close to the school. It's a Mexican restaurant that serves rice and beans, and I'm happy to finally get to eat something familiar. She sits across from me at a booth. I keep on my coat, but she removes hers. She wears a white shirt, a blue sweater, light makeup on her brown skin, a simple wedding ring, and an endless smile. Please order as much as you want. I invited you here for a chat, so it's good manners that I treat you to a meal. Her voice is even and firm. Have you come here with my cousins? I ask. She exhales. Actually, I have not. She wipes her hands on a napkin and extends one out to me. I'm Detective Shauna Stevens with the Grosse Pointe Park Police Department. I freeze and press my back against the seat. I start to slide out and contemplate leaving the restaurant. Wait a minute, you haven't done anything wrong. This isn't about you or your cousins. I just need your help, she says, and I can help you with your mother. I settle back into my seat. My skin, muscles, and bones feel as if they have melted away and I can simply step out of my body. My mother? You can help? Yes, she says, nodding. I smile at her, but my smile quickly fades as I realize that Papa Legba may open doors, but sometimes he leads you through a labyrinth. How do you know about my mother, and what do you want from me? She goes into her bag and pulls out a newspaper. Right there on the front page is a picture of a blonde girl. I've seen her before, on the TV and on other newspapers lying around at school. The headline reads, Protest scheduled outside Detroit Police Department for the death of Grosse Pointe Park teen. I shrug. She was on drugs. Her name was Madison Hellwig, and she was 17 years old. She died from a bad combination of designer drugs. We're trying to find out how Madison and her friends got access to those drugs. And there's a whole community that wants someone to go down for her death. Do you know anything about drugs and drug dealers, Fabiola? I shrink back in my seat again. I start to answer her, but she cuts me off. Of course you don't. Sure, you might have known some people in Haiti, but I think you know more of them now that you're in Detroit, she says. The waitress comes over to take our order, but Detective Stevens shoos her away. My stomach twists into a knot. I don't know anybody, I say. She folds her hands in front of her and leans back in her seat. Drayton Willis Carter. He goes by Dre. My stomach sinks. He's Donna's boyfriend, right? I shrug. Look, we need to get this guy off the streets. He's selling drugs to these nice kids like you in and around Detroit. He's not a good guy, Fabiola, but we need proof. We need evidence that he's the one getting drugs into those parties. We need to catch him in the act. I look all around the restaurant. But that is your job, I say. She inhales and looks around too. Yes, it is, but our work is not without the help of good American citizens like yourself. You are an American citizen, right? I nod slowly. And your mother is not, she goes on. That's why they're keeping her at that detention center. But the American embassy gave her a visa. She didn't do anything wrong, I insist. You were born here after your mother's visa expired 17 years ago. She wanted to make sure you were born American, that you could come back. Unfortunately, overstaying your visa is breaking the law. They think she might do it again. I swallow hard and glance toward the exit. I recognize some kids from my school coming in, but they don't see me just yet. Fabiola, we can get her out, and we can expedite the process for her to obtain a green card. She won't have to hide when she's here. She can live and work legally. Isn't that what she wants? What you both want? I sit up in my seat, and it's as if my insides are like flowers that have blossomed after a tiny bit of rain. Something comes alive within me. But I wasn't born last night, as my mother would say. I remember how Maman would outwit those vagabonds in suits who would offer expedited visas in exchange for things that are not meant to be given away for visas. What will this cost? I ask. No, no money. Just information. On Drayton, Dre, your cousin's boyfriend. I take a sip of water. I think he hits my cousin. They call him D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. That's all I know. You've been inside that white BMW of his, right? Did you ever wonder what he does to have that kind of car? And does he buy your cousin nice things? Everything I've noticed about Donna flashes through my mind. Her long coat, high-heeled boots, gold-rimmed sunglasses, fake hair, makeup, even her fancy underwear. I nod. slowly. Sweetheart, bottom line, no one around here is going to talk. So this all becomes like some sort of chaotic cycle. Bad people stay on the streets. Good people die. Bad people make a shitload of money. Good people have to scrape pennies. Same thing in Haiti, I say, really quiet. I'm sure. But here you can actually make a difference. Look, you have your cousins, but you don't have to be loyal to their friends. You don't owe anybody anything except your promise to your mother, right? I just look at her. We know that Dre goes out to these parties in the nice parts of town. We just need to know the next time he's going and to which party. Maybe you can ask Donna or your other cousins. Not too hard, right? Just a time and a place. She slips her hand inside her coat, pulls out a business card, and slides it over to me. The waitress comes back with her pad in hand. You ready to order now? She asks in a thick Spanish accent. I'll take my coffee to go. She'll have whatever her heart desires, the detective says, and slaps a $20 bill on the table. I slide the money back to her as she steps out of the booth. You forgot something, I say, but I take the card and slip it into my wallet. I retrace my steps back to the school where the block is almost empty and most of the store's gates are already down. A car honks behind me, making me jump, and I curse out the driver in my head. I turn around to see broke Kasim roll down his window, flashing his bright dimpled smile. I sigh, roll my eyes. The curse words in my mind have all disappeared, and maybe there are squiggly lines that want to form his name in pretty script letters with curly cues and flowers and stars and hearts and more hearts. Fabulous, I've been looking for you, he says. His voice is like a warm sea breeze filling up the cold, dry air in this place. Where were you going, and why are you still at school? He shuts off the engine and gets out of the car from the driver's side and comes around to open the passenger side door for me. But I don't go in. Pri was looking all over the place for you. I don't even know why they haven't given you a phone by now, he says. Still, I don't go in. Come on, Fabulous, get in. Pri went all the way downtown thinking you got on some bus to go to New Jersey. With that, I slide into the passenger seat of his old, dirty car. Why would you want to go to New Jersey anyway? Why not New York, or better yet, Chicago? Hell, it's closer. You ask too many questions, I say as I cover my legs with the bottom of my coat and place my book bag on my lap. Sorry about my car, he says as he moves junk from in between the seats. We can't all be ballers like Dre and your Aunt Jo. Ballers? Money makers, high rollers. Ain't the president of Haiti a baller or rapper or something like that? My thoughts return to the woman with the brown coat, the detective. She said Dre was like a high roller, and that was bad. He takes out his phone and dials a number. Hey, yo, I found her. She was just standing in front of the school. Yeah, hold on. He extends the phone out to me. Pri wants to talk to you. She's pissed. I don't really want to take it, so I slowly bring it up to my ear. I don't say anything, but she immediately starts to yell as if she already hears my breath. Where the fuck were you? Are you shitting me right now? How are you gonna straight disappear like that and don't tell nobody where you went? Matter of fact, somebody said they saw you go into the CVS and then leave with some lady. What the fuck is that, Fabiola? You acting like you've run in these streets already. I don't told you these bitches out here don't play. Even those Mexican bitches around the school will cut you if you... I give the phone back to Kasim. He doesn't know what to do with Pri's loud, dirty mouth. Hey, yo, Pri, calm down. You know who you sound like now, right? That's exactly how your mom used to go in on Donna back in the day. Yeah, you got a ride? Cool. I'll take her home then. Don't worry. She's with me. She's in good hands, Kasim laughs. I'm just messing with you. It's quiet in the car for a long second after he hangs up with Pri. Then he says, yo, you really got to tell somebody where you're going around here. I don't look at him. I look ahead of me, then through the window next to me, but not at him. My thoughts are still simmering on that detective, Donna's boyfriend, Dre, and my mother. You hungry? You want to grab some dinner with me? He starts the car, but lets it idle. I turn away and look out the window, trying hard not to smile. I mean, no disrespect, Fabulous. I could just take you home, he says. No, it's okay, I say. I can eat. I'm sure you can eat. Ever had Middle Eastern food before? Like kebabs, tabbouleh, falafels, and shit? I smile. I have Syrian friends back in Haiti. I miss them. My favorite food they make is baklava. My favorite is baklava, he mocks me with a fake accent and laughs. Don't tell me you're one of them bougie chicks. No wonder you call me broke. You need a man who's gonna buy you boxes of baklava and get you nice and thick. Put some meat on those little Haitian bones. I laugh and hit him on the arm. He turns on the radio, but no sound comes through the speakers. He bangs on the dashboard and the music blares throughout the car. He turns the volume down and apologizes. See, I told you, I say. Broke. I was waiting for you to say that. He laughs as he pulls away from the curb and makes a U-turn down Verner Highway. You can't tell by my car that I got stacks in the bank. I'm not going to be one of those dudes rolling up in no BMW and still live in their mama's basement. I'm trying to buy a condo next year, or one of them houses they're selling for like $5 and fix it up real nice. Oh yeah? So what do you do for work with all those stacks in the bank? Been working since I was 9, saved every penny. I can show you my job if you want, the cafe across the street from the opera house. You been there? Maybe someday we'll go, do some bougie shit with my bougie girl. No, 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 I am not your girl. He laughs. Who said I was talking about you? Did you hear me say fabulous? No. See? You need to work on your English comprehension. But you said, never mind, I say. I can't wipe the smile from my face, even as the time stretches thin and wide without another word being exchanged between us. I stare out the car window, still smiling, and somehow Detroit becomes more colorful than it's ever been. But something is tugging at me. I think of all that is still wrong. My mama in New Jersey, Detective Stevens, and what she asked me to do. His cell phone rings. Hey, yo, what up, Dre? I try not to listen and let my mind wander to some other place where that emptiness lives. But his constant yeahs and nahs pull me into his conversation with this person who should be off the streets if what the detective lady said is true. Fab, we gonna have to cut tonight short, right? Kasim says, hanging up, turning toward me. It's okay, I say, shaking my head. Just bring me home. Wait. He takes one look at my face and pulls out his cell phone again. Yo, Dre, I'll holla at you later, man. I can't roll through tonight. Kasim hangs up and turns to me. Let's go get something to eat. I eat with you? My smile is even bigger now. A teeth showing smile, as my mom would call it. But how could I even have a glimmer of happiness right now with my mother in jail for no reason? If only I could smile like Aunt Jo with half my face in a frown. Kasim parks along a sidewalk that's lined with tall and wide buildings. When he turns off the engine, I start to open my door, but he stops me and says, "Wait, I got you." He runs all the way to the other side of the car to open the door for me. The sign on the building in front of us reads Bucharest Grill. I've been to a restaurant only once back in Haiti, and that was after my first Holy Communion. If my mother didn't cook, we'd go to a neighbor's house to get a plate of food in exchange for good neighborhood gossip. Already today, I will have gone to 2 restaurants. It is another reminder that my life here in Detroit could not be more different from home. Kasim reaches for me as I step out of the car. His hand in mine is warm, and for a moment I feel brand new, as if like my cousin Prima Donna, I am beginning to live up to this new name, Fabulous.